Hello. Ooh. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 4000 of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I'm broadcasting live from a car. I did a quick order of some food because, got to eat most important meal of the day, dinner. Actually, I would argue that snacks are the most important meal of the day. Maybe important's not the right word, but to me, like a snack, it's the perfect meal because it's not too much of a commitment, but it's like, let's have like 17 snacks and then we can you can try different things, you can use different dips, you can do some salty, you can do some not salty. What is it called? It's salty and sweet. I was going to say salty and savory, but I think salty is savory in this instance. Is there a difference between salty and savory? I'm not sure, but regardless, I did a mobile app pickup order situation, and I realized that I ordered it for the wrong time. Now, what I normally do is I'll order, not to brag, I'm kind of a globetrotter in the sense that where I work is far away from where I sleep, and then where I sleep is, I have I have just so many friends and, family out and about. So I'm in different parts of town, so to speak, quite frequently. So my apps, my ordering apps, my mobile ordering apps, my Uber Eats, it's not always to the same location. Because again, always on the go, very important. As if you can't tell, obviously anyone who not self-forces, but self-directs their own podcast that no one asked for them to do for almost 3 years. Or not almost 3 years, but coming up on 3 years. Is clearly very busy. So yes, I'm very busy. Always out and about. But all of that to say is, oftentimes, if I make a faux pas on a mobile ordering app, it's ordering it to the wrong location. But I didn't do that this time. I ordered it to the right location, but the wrong time. So I was like, shoot, I have 20 minutes before my food's ready. What do I do? And then I realized I know exactly the thing to do, and that's record tomorrow's episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. So I'm really glad that this can be a mutually beneficial transaction. You get a podcast, I get to waste is a strong word. I get to utilize this time to record said podcast. I'm in a shadier part of town. There is law enforcement present. So when I pulled into this parking lot, I was like, do I need to leave? Because my food isn't ready for another half an hour. Now, I am looking directly into the establishment that I'm picking up my food, and I don't see any, employees. So I don't know if they've just kind of, kicked it, or if they've pieced out. I'm also, right next to a liquor store, which is really interesting, just people watching at the liquor store. From what I've seen in the last 5 minutes of being here, it is quite it's kind of come one, come all at the liquor store. I mean, obviously there are limits, you have to be of legal drinking age. But other than that, it's everyone's getting their liquor. I don't drink, so the few times that I have been in a liquor store, I do feel like I'm doing something wrong, even though legally, spiritually, and morally I am not. I maybe go into one liquor store a year to either buy a gift or a gift card or something. The last time it happened, a couple months ago, they did not ask for my ID. And I didn't know how to feel about that. I was like, so you either think I'm just so old that there's no way I'm not, there's not even beyond a shadow of a doubt that I am someone's walking into the restaurant into the place. Oh yeah, okay, there is someone working here. That's good. Okay. We're all good. I will have my 6:15 pickup hopefully ready. And I'm actually going to look and see if I can see it. Maybe we can get it early. Well, I guess I can't get it early because I'll be mid-recording of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. Either way, all of this to say, the liquor store is a fascinating environment. And, okay, people are going in and out of there very fast. I'm someone who notoriously, talk about wasting time. If I need to kill an hour or two, put me in a grocery store, and the time just evaporates. I don't know where it goes. I'm walking up and down every aisle. I'm seeing the new snacks. I'm seeing what Oreo's doing these days. I'm seeing, what flavor Coca-Cola has decided to make this month. I have to Google the flavor because have you ever noticed the Coke flavors don't make sense? It'll be like Coca-Cola Carnival. I'm sorry. You are one of the biggest, if not the biggest brand in the world. And you think it's a good idea to name a flavor something that is not a flavor. Does that make sense? Carnival, what does Carnival taste like? And I always look for a description, how on the My Little Pony dolls, it'll be this is muffins, and she they'll give you a whole description, a whole personality of what your unicorn does. I always look for that description on these Coca-Cola bottles because I'm assuming you're going to tell me what outer space tastes like, and they don't. And if you try enough of those types of flavors, there's been a lot of them the past few years, you will notice something, and that it's actually all the same flavor. Move tastes like rocket ship, tastes like roller coaster, tastes like carnival. And I don't disagree. Those are all similar concepts. But at the same time, what the hell? That's sort of my thesis, I guess, is what the hell. Am I a complainer? Oh, do you hear the sirens? I don't know do I need to leave? Because my food's not ready for another 20 minutes. But obviously, safety is a top priority. I'm looking around at no one looks alarmed. I feel like I'm fine. I'm just gonna operate on the belief that everything's fine. What else? I hope everyone has had an amazing week. If not amazing, decent, As I say all the time, not every week can be great. Hopefully not every week's bad, but as long as we're on the up and up. Oh, I should have got a chili. I do that all the time. I really have to learn to just order in person, especially if I'm going to pick up the thing, because listen, there's always some limited edition. You know me, my middle name is limited edition, not because I'm limited edition, or at least I hope not. I hope I'm here for a while. But I love an exclusive flavor, hence why I've tried the whole collection of new Coca-Cola flavors. I love a limited offering, a seasonal, situation. And now I'm thinking I should have got a chili. Why didn't I do that? I think it's too late. That's fine. Anyway, what's not too late is the Nobody Asked for This podcast because I'm recording it earlier than I normally would. Every once in a while, and just to let you in on the process of podcasting, and also just to be completely honest, some episodes are better than others. I think this one is going to be somewhere in the middle. I'm trying, okay? Oh, I actually do. I have a horrific story to share. That's coming in 1 second. After the break, you're going to hear something good. But this episode isn't going to be the best, just to be completely honest. And I've accepted that. And I think we all would be better to do that. But yes, I love a limited edition offering. So I really wish I hadn't ordered my food because I could have now gotten a chili. I guess I could still get a chili. What's stopping me? Should I get the chili? What's sad is that would be to me ooh, so crazy. I'm getting a chili. How sad. On a Wednesday afternoon, sitting in my car in a questionable part of town. Anyway, to give you the horrific story, something terrible happened. So apparently all I do is eat because all I talk about is food. But I tried to make a healthy choice today and wanted to make make is a strong word. I was going to have some soup. I was going to have some lentil soup for dinner. Not dinner, lunch. I'm about to eat dinner. I was going to have some lentil soup for lunch. How healthy, right? It's in a can. Now, I think I read somewhere that, like, something being in a can makes it, like, less healthy because, like, the nutrients, or not the nutrients, the aluminum from the can can, like, debunk the nutrients or something. I'm not sure. It's similar to the microwave. Apparently, if you put something in the microwave, you're, like, taking the nutrients out of your food. Now, is that true? I don't know. I don't even know how you would know that. Like, how do you test that? Do you put a turkey sandwich in the microwave and say, "Hello, turkey sandwich, do you feel less neutralized?" Like, that doesn't say, like, I don't think you can, like, logically, like, know for 100% certain. Like, is there, like, a test you can give? It's like the people who were testing the Subway tuna to see if there was tuna in it, and horrifyingly enough, there wasn't. Which, like, here's the thing. If you're walking into a Subway, which I love Subway, I'm sure I've talked about it on here before. I don't understand the smell, but I find comfort in it. I love that you could be in any corner of the universe, and just if you want just that scent of home, you could walk into a Subway, smell that, like, pickly bread situation, and you would feel like you were at home. I actually think that that's beautiful, and if that wasn't on purpose, it should have been, because that's genius. The marketing people at Subway need to take over Coca-Cola, because that's innovation right there. Calling the flavor of a drink Move and Circus is not innovation. Having every single restaurant that you have, no matter if someone just, like, hurled in the corner, still smell like pickles or whatever smell it is. I don't know if they're spraying it like Abercrombie and Fitch or what, but let me tell you, it's genius. They need to put that smell in a candle. I'm sure someone has. But getting back to the task at hand, I go to open up my lentil soup to put it in the microwave. Now, I did plan on putting it in a bowl. And all of this happened so fast, but, like, for dramatic effect, I will sort of, like, drag it out in the way I experienced it, which was in some sort of a slow motion. It was like slow motion until it wasn't. It was like slow, and then boom. So I go to open the can, and I'm, like, having a bit of trouble, like pulling it open. And I didn't even have time to think, like, oh, this isn't working. Like, I wasn't thinking, like, oh, time to get the scissors, time to get, like, a knife. Like, I was just, like, slowly trying to open it, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, there were lentils everywhere. Like everywhere. Like, I think there is still lentil soup on the ceiling where this in the room that this happened. I was covered in lentil soup. So I was like, how am I supposed to track this for my macros? No. I was in shock, first of all. And then I felt like a stinging in one of my, I guess, on. Do stings, are stings in or on? Anyway, on one of my fingers. And I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I act like I got cut by this can. Like, how terrible. So, like, not only is my lunch everywhere, but now I have an injury that's covered in lentils. Like, that can't be good. Like, if you have a cut, it should be covered in polysporin, not Mediterranean Parmesan lentil soup from Costco. Not to blame Costco. I would never blame Costco. But, like, I think that's where the soup was purchased, if we're being honest. So, I'm now at work covered in lentils. And, like, okay, covered is a strong word, but, like, the entire front of my shirt and, like, a little bit of my pants. Now, luckily, when you're like me and it's hard to get embarrassed, I totally owned it from jump. I was essentially running around the office, like, showing people. Like, it's one of those things where I think my thinking is, like, let me point it out before it's, like, what people think. But the great irony of that situation is a lot of the things that I will point out to people, they will at least act like they had they had no idea. They'll be like, oh, there's a huge hole in your shoe? I didn't know. I'm like, are you serious? Like, you weren't thinking of the hole in my shoe this entire time? Because here's a little secret that I've really learned. Everyone thinks everyone is, like, worried about them and thinking about them. No, everyone is too busy worrying about their own self and, like, what their hair looks like and what the holes in their shoes, appear to be. That, like, you really only have so much time to think about other people. And yes, is that a downside of humanity? Maybe. Would we all be maybe a bit more charitable if we had less, thoughts about ourselves on our minds? Maybe. But also, maybe we would realize the flaws of each other a bit more. So maybe it's good that we're sort of a bit self-absorbed. Which, speaking of absorbed, my Old Navy sweater, I think it's ruined. Like, I would need so much detergent, or not. What's that? It's like not detergent, but like you spray it on beforehand. What is like the umbrella term for that? Like, not fabric softener, like stain remover. I would need just a vat of stain remover. And I'm gonna try, and I'll give you an update. But yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good so far. And it's just like, of course this would happen to me. You know what never exploded all over me? Granola. Like, I should have just had yogurt, granola, peanut butter, which I have for every other meal of the day. Like, why I tried to be fancy and have lentil soup, I have no idea. Like, not the time, not the place. Like, just stick to what you know. If you get anything from this episode, stick to what you know. I will say the lentils were delicious. And I'm not even like, I can't say I'm not a lentil person because I haven't come into contact with lentils much. A lot of people are walking out of the liquor store with Coca-Cola like products. Again, I don't frequent the liquor store. So I don't know what's in there, but I guess they have pop in there? Like, you can get a soda from the liquor store? What else is in there? Should I go into the liquor store? No, I don't need to go into the liquor store. I'm just curious. Like, I've never seen. Okay, I'm watching the employee. I like, not staring because that's rude, but like I'm at the food place where I'm gonna get my food, and it looks like they're starting to make my my bowl. I did order a bowl. I don't know if I had revealed what I had gotten yet, but that's cool. They seem very nice. Although I do feel bad because they are alone. Let me tell you, there is nothing quite like working like completely alone. Luckily, the job I'm at now, like, that wouldn't really happen. But like, I've spent some hours. I actually, arguably, I don't think there would be a Nobody Asked for This podcast if I wasn't at a job for a time where I was like alone probably 15 hours a week. Just like talking to myself for two reasons. One, because it gave me the skill of conversing with essentially my own self, which I do recommend. Like, if anyone's bored, like, just make friends with yourself. Especially if you're cool. If you're not cool, I don't know what you do. But if you're like kind of funny and smart, which, not to call myself funny and smart, I'm probably like half of one of those things. Or try to be. But if you fancy yourself a cool person, I would make friends with yourself and start talking. And then while I was at that job talking to myself, I think one of the thoughts I had to myself was, let me just start a podcast. Not because I think I'm so great, but because, like, what the hell else was I doing? Oh, this bowl is getting loaded. I'm looking at my food being made. Oh yeah, yeah, there we go. Okay, I actually feel I feel kind of bad. And like, how awkward. Like, I've been here for half an hour and I'm going to walk in as if I just got here. As if I wasn't watching them make my bowl. And here are the sirens again. I don't know if any of that is picking up, but like, there's definitely something happened. Here's my plan. We're going to finish our conversation here. Don't worry. I'm not going to forget about you all. But then I'm going to get my food. I'm going to get out of Dodge. Wherever Dodge is. Dodge Ram. Dodge... whatever. I don't know. But yeah, this is... Actually, I haven't talked about the date. This is the last episode of February. I feel like I was just complaining mere weeks ago, because I guess it was, about how February was about to start. And now, I'm happy to report, February is going to be over in like mere days, mere hours, really. This upcoming Saturday, it's March, which I actually can't believe. I feel like I haven't. Most winters, like, we hit a lull, like, right after the holidays, where I'm like, this is the worst. I feel like I've kind of been distracted lately, in a good way, to the point where, like, I haven't really felt winter. Like, it's been a haze. Now, I'm hoping once, like, summer rolls around, like, I exit the haze, and I can, like, embrace summer, and then the eventual fall, which everyone knows is my favorite season. But I'm really liking the fact that this winter feels like it is flying by. And also, I believe that when we speak next... Yes, so not this upcoming Sunday, but the one after that is daylight savings. So, now, unfortunately, I think that means that we lose an hour's sleep or something. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that hour of sleep. People make a big deal out of it. It's literally one day. Go to bed 1 hour. It's one day on a Sunday. Go to bed 1 hour early on a Saturday, and you won't feel it. I will say I have felt a little bit of, like, jet lag before from daylight savings for whatever reason. And I've heard that, like, people do get affected by it. But for the most part, like, it's usually not too big of an issue. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to the light. And because here's the thing, the trade-off of that is we get to live in the light. I'm all about living in the light, or at least try to. I do complain a lot, but like it's like fake complaining, you know? Okay, I have to be honest about something. I was so excited to obviously get my supper, but use the restroom because I've needed to, and I've realized that right in front of my face, because I was thinking, I hope they have a public washroom here. Right in front of my face, there is a sign that says no public washrooms. So that liquor store is looking better and better. I assume a liquor store has a public washroom, because what beverage place wouldn't? Like, if you deal in the business of liquids, like, I'm sorry, you need to have a washroom, because, like, where are those liquids supposed to go? I make a lot of sense if you think hard enough. Actually, I make a lot of sense if you think a little bit harder, but, like, not too hard. Like, if you what? That was such a loud honk, but, like, I don't even see where it came from. But yeah, my, like, theories and stuff, like, if you think, like, just beyond, like, if you humor me, I sound smart, but then if you think and, like, start poking holes, like, I'm back to being an idiot. So, there's that. I've just realized, I think I talked about it a few months ago, how I had decided that in this spring, I was gonna skydive. And I'm still holding true to that. Now, I'll be honest, was it easier to commit to that idea, you know, when it was like 10 months away? Absolutely. I'm the king of, oh yeah, I'll do that, you know, in 2026, no problem. Inner lip tattoo, let's do it. And then it's like time to get the inner lip tattoo, and I'm like in the tattoo chair parlor thing, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this wasn't as good of an idea. And I do it every time. And here's the thing. It's not like I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this thing. But in the back of my head, I'm like, oh shoot, oh crap, I don't want to do this. Like, I fully believe, like, yeah, I have no problem doing this. I'm so excited. Until like the day before. And then I'm like, darn. why did I say that I was going to do it? Especially if it's something that no one asked me to do, which is a lot of the things I do. Like, I go really above and beyond. You could see that as a positive, and you could see that as a negative. Like, I will voluntold my own self daily for things that it's like, you can't complain that, that it would literally be like me, like, coming on here and complaining about having to record the Nobody Asked for this podcast, and it's like, nobody asked you to do that. Like, you made a task for yourself and are mad at it. But then that's also just part of my charm, Anyway, I've done a lot of talking about myself. What else can I talk about? We've talked about daylight savings. We've talked about my bowl. Oh, this is fascinating. Somebody went into the place where I ordered from, ordered something, and then has now left before picking up what they ordered from here to go into the place next door and get something from there. See, I respect this. Sometimes you can't risk it. Sometimes you need to arrive with 2 meals, just in case one is bad, or like dry or something. And then worst comes to worst, you just have 2 meals. First dinner, second dinner. I really feel like COVID really brought up the importance of second dinner because there was truly nothing to do. I still can't believe that happened. And I also can't believe that, like, COVID is about to be 5. Now, I realize it's COVID-19. So, like, it already is 5. Like, it turned 5 in 2019. But in my opinion, COVID technically, like, the lockdown phase was, like, March. So we're coming up on 5 years since the beginning of quarantine. And just, we'll do a whole look back, half a decade. Like, the quarantine is entering kindergarten. Isn't that crazy? Like, the COVID kids, the kids that were a quarantine conception, are going into kindergarten. I think if I've done my math right, they'll be entering kindergarten this fall. Like, that's nuts. Also, brace yourselves. The teachers need to brace themselves because we don't know. Maybe they'll be great. I have faith in the youth. I really do. As a youth myself. But I don't know what we're going to find. I don't know. I'm sure there's like a textbook on it, but like really, truly, honestly and truthfully, who knows? I have really lined this up perfectly. I have 4 minutes before my dinner's ready, even though it's been ready for 10 minutes. And, not to upset anybody, but I do believe we've come to the end of the Nobody Asked for this podcast. And I really have to go to the washroom. There are no public washrooms. Maybe that's what that other guy was doing. He needed to use a public washroom. Okay, this wording, no public washrooms. So that means there's a washroom in there, right? Like, if I'm really nice and explain my situation, like, they'll probably let me in. Maybe? Maybe they're a fan of the podcast? Okay, so do I get the chili? It's like kind of like a game time decision. I still don't know. I'll let you know next week what I do. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a stellar day, weekend, week, whatever works. I really do appreciate if you've taken the time to listen to this. If you've liked what you've heard, you can go to podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com. On there, you can get the links to listen on Apple or Spotify or any of those shenanigans. I technically have the show technically has a TikTok, but I don't think I've been on it in over a year. Instagram, same deal. I think it's been about a year since I've even logged in. Me and Instagram just don't get along. For some reason, I've been locked out of my own account, my personal account, for about 6 months, because when I was away, in last summer, I was on European time and forgot my own passcode to my own phone, like out of nowhere, because I guess I've just been using Face ID for so long, that when it prompted me to enter my password, like I did not know it. I'm still saying it was a glitch. I'm going glitch. But, like, of the Apple software. But, if it is my fault, then that's really bad. And essentially I had to reset my whole phone, and there was like a multi-factor authentication. Do you know how every app, it's like, it's not good enough to just know one password. You need to know like 2 passwords and then a password and a code that they send you. And like, I appreciate the safety and I'm sure it's necessary, but like, I don't think anyone's trying to hack my Instagram. And if they did, like, they would either find nothing or like make me look more interesting. So I don't know, but all of that to say, thank you for listening. I'm going to go eat my bowl. See, it's ready in 1 minute. Like, this is perfect timing. It's like when you write a paragraph, or like you're writing on a page, like a lined paper. I guess you don't really write with paper and pens anymore, but when you did, and you finished your thought right at the end of the last line of the last page, that was a good feeling. And that's kind of what we're doing today. So I will see you all next week, except no, I won't. You will hear from me next week. And yeah. Take care. Thank you for listening. And goodbye.